I'm Ashton Addison from Blockwest Capital for InvestmentPitch Media and the Crypto Coin Show. And today on Blockchain Interviews, we have JamstheXplorer, the co-founder of the Xplorers. Jams, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for taking the time, and I'm excited to dive into the world of NFTs with you. I know your team is really deep into it, and you have a really interesting initiative. I'd love for you to kick it off with a little bit about Xplorers and what makes this project unique.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us on here, Ashton. We're super excited about this. I'd like to just start off by sharing a little bit about our collection and why we decided to go ahead and do this collection in the first place. So when you look at the whole NFT space and the arc that it's undertaken, right? Like what we see first is back in 2017, we saw the CryptoPunks that really started this wave. And the reason we believe they really took off is because the community really gravitated with the idea of being a punk. So essentially, back in 2017, the essence of the market was a bunch of people who really associated themselves with being rebels, with being people who are setting up a new social order, breaking out of social norms. So being a punk is something that they really resonated with, which is when we saw that collection really pick up. The next marker when you look at this space to us is like the VAYC group, because when they launched, it was the first time that a collection really took off and sustained, being built purely around community. And they kind of set the tone for the other collections to follow in terms of building a community around their collection. So when we sat down, we kind of looked at that arc and we're like, okay, so where is this going next? And that's when we kind of saw the people in the space today. If I had to capture the essence of the market and the people today, we realized it was a lot of new people entering the space, just trying to figure out, right? Like what's going on with NFTs, what's going on with blockchain, what's going on with DeFi, with DAOs, with anything in this space, with the metaverse, right, on a bigger scale. And we just realized that they're just here to explore. They're here to explore what other opportunities are available and what's next. And we were like, you know what, that is the name of our collection. And that's what we want people to kind of connect on the theme of exploration, of just being exploring for different opportunities. And that's when we essentially landed on doing this collection called the Xplorers. And the other thing that we've kind of realized is that utility moving forward is going to be front and center to all of the different collections that are actually going to sustain. And that's purely something that we've built our collection basis moving forward. So our collection consists of 8,500 Xplorers. It's built on ETH, and ownership of an Xplorer also grants our members access to the Xplorer Studio, which I would like to dive into a bit deeper in a bit.
Amazing, great background. And yeah, you're right. Finding something that resonates, you know, and when I saw the Xplorers, when I first looked at it, I was like, this is really cool. This is a cool initiative to be able to own one of these. And obviously adding those exclusive benefits and perks are going to make a huge difference for bringing utility to the NFTs and allowing you to have access or gain some kind of special benefits from that. I would love for you to just elaborate a little bit on where you see the utility and more of the long-term value for the Xplorers collection.
Yeah, so number one, like one of the biggest themes for us working with this project has been that of identity, right? Like today when we're looking at these generative avatar collections that are coming out, a lot of them just center around gravity and what you resonate with. So for example, the first thing people do when they buy a piece is they make it their profile picture across different platforms, right? And what we're seeing for the first time now is the ability with NFTs and crypto and all of this coming in to form your own digital identity, which is kind of different from your physical identity. And so we asked ourselves, right? Like, so when I go to form my digital identity, would I want it to be formed basis the same thing that my real world identity is formed on, which are a lot of physical attributes, right? It could be my height, it could be the color of my skin, it could be my gender, it could be my day job. Do I want to associate those same traits with my digital identity? And if not, could I be associating it with something deeper? And that's when we were like, you know what, it doesn't matter what the color of your skin is, your height doesn't matter, your gender doesn't matter. You just put on this helmet, it doesn't matter what's underneath, and you can connect with each other in the community for just being an explorer, for just being here to explore different opportunities. So in lines with that, what we then realized is that, okay, when people are getting on, you know, like you're getting on a space, on Twitter Spaces, you have this avatar that's resembling you and you're speaking with it. But then the minute I'm getting on like a video call, whether it's like a streaming platform like Twitch or like a Zoom call, that layer of digital identity just kind of breaks down, and I'm again back to being who I am in the real world. And you're like, okay, but if I want to continue that digital identity, what can I do? So we've actually, as a team, worked hard on creating these different AR filters and Zoom backgrounds and stuff that are like compatible with platforms like Zoom and Twitch, so that I can actually be that explorer on this call as well, right? Like I can take this and that, I can have that helmet be a part of my identity. I can be living in the same background world that I have on my profile picture, and continue that identity. So I feel like that has been something that's kind of differentiated this project. The other one in terms of utility with the Xplorer Studio, right? Like, so what we strongly believe as people, as humans, we always need a space to kind of collaborate and engage with our community. That could be like a space like our living room. It could be a bar. It could be a cafe. So our take on what that would look like digitally is our Xplorer Studio. So it's essentially a place for our community members to kind of come together, collaborate, engage with one another, and just socialize in that space. And we would be running a bunch of different activations there. So number one is just to let our members kind of curate and display their NFT collections within this space, which is obviously the most basic application of it. And then another one, which to me is one of the most exciting ones, is just to collaborate with different artists to create one-on-one worlds within the studio for our explorers to be exploring in, right? So it could be like, it could literally be any kind of world that you can imagine, right? Like just a world without the color blue, a world that functions with gravity in a different way, a world that's a fast food based world. Like, I don't know, like there are a lot of applications that our artists can run with it and just be a bit crazy out there. And the other thing is that when we look at the ethos of the community today, it's kind of split down two ways. You're either an investor where you're picking up collections and pieces, like looking to gain value in it over a period of time, or you're a creator looking to create these pieces. What we want our community to be is include both of these sides of it and get them to interact with each other and give feedback, so that we can actually see projects that come out that are created by solid creators and have the backing of solid investors moving forward. And just on lines of that, we've also worked really hard to set up our community wallet and pledged like 33% of royalties to be going into the community wallet. And what we call our community, the utility of our community wallet, in our words, is a decentralized venture studio. So essentially what we see happening within that is us financing different movements from our community members that are just different explorations in the crypto space, right? They don't have to be NFT projects. They don't have to just be art specific. We're looking at music explorers. We're looking at investment explorers, at meme explorers, we can run with that, right? So so those are the kind of utilities that we're trying to build in to this. And the last thing, just to have fun with the studio. The space is so digital, but I still feel like a lot of like launches and parties and stuff have been happening physically. And if you can't make those events, you kind of feel that FOMO coming in. So we kind of want to cater those events and make them a bit more digital. So like getting access to our collaborators and our community members to just attend these events virtually within the studio is something we're working on as well.
Very cool, Jams. I'm really excited to see how the studio plays out. And I really do like the AR, moving into, as we continue in towards a more virtual reality world, eventually becoming our digital avatars, or any of the NFT collections that we have, we could perhaps embody those inside of virtual reality. To have that great first step where you have the AR and you can start merging, your NFT with your physical body over video calls, I think is a great touch, and I haven't seen that in the NFT space at all. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, and that's exactly where we wanted to kind of differentiate, right? And we're kind of playing with a lot of elements with the idea also, like in the future, of collaborating with different collections, where we can actually make some of our explorers take off the helmet and reveal to be another collection member, right? Like, so just imagine taking it off and you're a BAYC member underneath, or you're a soul monkey. Like, it can go anywhere with that, and that's something we're working on as well.
Very cool. And now I'd love, Jams, to get a snapshot of, the team's been working on this for a while. Where exactly are you at right now? I know that there's still a lot to go for this main launch.
Yeah, so we've actually just started building out our community. One of the things that we're really focused on is not just building a community that's purely based on hype, but we want it to be a bit more sustainable. We want it to be a brand that we can actually take forward over the next couple of years and keep expanding with the Xplorers brand as a whole. So we've just recently announced our pre-sale. We've announced ways to get on it. What we've realized is in terms of the community that people like to choose different things to do to be a part of that pre-sale. So we've given a bunch of different roles that people can kind of play for or gamified it a bit so that people can actually conduct a couple of activations to just be a part of that pre-sale. So that is open now. And we're hopefully looking to mint end of this month and are working hard to make sure we don't have like a gas war or anything going on around
Mm-hmm.
that time. So we're working on our different lists to help people get onto the channels quicker and etc.
Very cool. And I'd love to hear your vision for Explorers, 3 to 5 years down the road. Where do you see that fitting into NFTs, and how do you see the NFT space? I'm sure it will be drastically larger then.
Yeah, so I see a lot more mainstream people getting into this space, right? So what our vision with this is to create a brand called the Explorers that we can just kind of parallelly just expand into different horizons. So like for instance, right, like merchandise stores. I know everyone's been doing merchandise stores, but what everyone's been doing, they've just been like slapping their logo on a T-shirt or something on that sort.
Mm-hmm.
What we're looking to do, for example, is to build a sustainable clothing brand out of the Explorers as well. So like actually getting merch that people in the crypto space would like to associate and wear, right? Like I feel like the space is so radically different, but then we're creating stuff in it that's still very basic. So just kind of breaking out of that. And yeah, just overall, we want the Xplorer Studios to be everywhere. One of our biggest visions, like we keep saying this, is that something front and center of the project is collaborations. So that's how we essentially see the brand expanding, is by collaborating with different collections of like-minded communities, as well as different ecosystems that are growing in now, so that we can actually have the Explorers be everywhere. Right, so like we've actually announced a partnership, one of our first partnerships with a platform called Nifty Play, that actually allows people to like mint different photos, videos, music, etc. as NFTs on their platform. So what we're talking to them is like making our AR filters available to the public, and then, for example, minting out a photography series using these helmets with our photography creators. So things like this is what we are working really hard on, to just collaborate. I know in real estate, they keep saying it's all about location, location, location. I feel like in the NFT world, it's all about collaboration. So that's just something that we're working really hard on. And that's one of the main visions of the brand moving forward.
Very cool, Jams. I'm looking forward to seeing those collaborations. And you mentioned the pre-sale for the collection as well as the launch coming up in a short while. For the viewers that are interested in learning more about the Explorers NFTs, getting the collection, getting them early on, what's the best way for them to learn more and get into the community?
Yeah, so you can like follow us on Twitter. Like Twitter, our handle is called the NFT Explorers. So follow us on Twitter. Our Discord link is available there as well. Our website is xplorers.io. You guys can log in there. Our roadmap is highlighted there. A little bit about the team is on there. Like we have all of those elements there. So just check it out. And again, like I said, right, like we're looking to build out a community that's a bit more solid and sustainable. So we've been doing things where we are trying to reach out and get the eyeballs of the right people. So if this is a community that you're looking to like be a part of, to build with, like please hop on our server. What we're looking for is to get people like you who are actually genuinely interested in the space to be a part of our community. And we are here. We have a very solid team in terms of tech and design, and we are working very hard to kind of make our resources available as educational content as well to different creators around. We believe strongly in creators being front and center, right? We don't want things to happen where creators don't get the value that they're actually worth. So we're working hard on that. So if you're a creator and want to be a part of it as well, like do reach out. We're friendly people, happy to help wherever possible.
Amazing. Thank you, Jams, for coming on. I will leave all those links in the description box below. All the best with the upcoming launch for Explorers and beyond. And let's follow up in the near future.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us, Ashton. Excited to have you to be a part of our community as well. So looking forward to seeing you on there too.
Love it.